Hey, how you guys doing? Mike here from Tires to Go, and today I'm going to inform you about the amazing tools that Tires to Go provide to get the customers what they need. As you know, we have the real same as cash, but we also have Snap financing. We use Snap pretty much to provide the customers the same equipment as they were buying cash on payments. Isn't that amazing? Pretty much what we do, you come indoors, we get you the application right away, we'll get you approved, and we'll get you the safe, affordable tires that you need, and pay it off in 3 months. Simple, easy, affordable. Why not come to Tires to Go, where you get the real, same as cash.
At Life's a Beach Realty, we're all about life on the beach. Stunning Panama City Beach and one of the most beautiful properties on the Gulf Coast, Shores of Panama. Radiant, elegant, and spectacular. Steps away from white sugar sand, every room overlooks the turquoise of the Gulf of Mexico. Come in for your tour today. Life's a Beach Realty is your gateway to Shores of Panama, the shores, and a whole lot more.
What's up, sports fans? It's your host, Blake Anthony from Sports Talk49, always shot live on BucsReport.com. Every Tuesday at 3:30, you can find me there. But I'm here today, not as Blake Anthony, and just as Blake. I need your help. I need your help helping out, reaching out to the community of Tampa Bay and help feeding them by donating whatever you can afford to Feeding Tampa Bay. And any donation you give automatically enters you and a chance to win a XL Pewter Mike Evans jersey. And when you enter that, your name, and I'll get your name and your address and everything in case you win on August 1st. And if you have any questions, you can find me at 49sportstalk@gmail.com, or you can find me at BlakeAnthony49 at Twitter, or BlakeAnthony49 on IG, or you can reach out to me on Bucs Report at any given time, and I will return your message as soon as I can. But it's important that we help out our fellow brothers and sisters and children out there, even though we aren't affected personally. But somebody else you may know, somebody else's brother, sister, or cousin may be affected by this, and you may not know. So any contribution could help out. As always, if you've been following me for all the years I've been doing this, I do charity every year, and today is Feeding Tampa Bay because of the COVID-19 situation, the COVID relief effort that Feeding Tampa Bay is trying to help out. So whatever you can give would be deeply appreciated. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. If you see this advertisement anywhere, that is part of me, and that is part of what we got going on here. Of course, if you have any questions, by all means, reach me at any of those I listed above. And whatever you can give, be deeply appreciated. You don't know who it can help out in the future. As always, I appreciate you guys following me for so many years and supporting me. I wouldn't be here without you. I appreciate you guys. And I hope you guys are staying safe out there with your loved ones and your families, and keep fighting the good fight till the cure is found for this terrible virus. Thank you guys, and God bless. And as always, fire those cannons. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Sports Talk 49 live on Bucs Report, always live. Tuesdays at 3:30 for now until the season comes around And you also know what time it is when you know it's 3:30. When you look at your clock or watch, it's time to pick up your phone and watch Sports Talk. Here we are with another Tuesday edition. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Trying to keep you as entertained and amused as possible. With all this going on, and sports are getting slowly but surely creeping back into our lives. It's like that old ex-girlfriend that's trying to creep back, but you kind of, you want her to try to creep back, but it just slowly happening. That's what sports are right now. It's kind of tentative coming back with the whole COVID-19 thing, but it's just slowly but surely creeping that way. But before we get into all that, let's get into all other great shows here. As me, as always, got to give my guys a shout out. They work hard, 365, especially Peter, the hardest man working in show business. Where is it at here? Yep, check out all these shows here. Audio still should be good. What we got? Tuesdays goes. You just had Ask Me Anything by Nick Citro. You got me at 3:30 today. You got the A Gap on YouTube, 7 p.m. You got the Al Kick Show, Al Kick, 8 to 9. And then the Sports Web is always wrapping it up for the night between 9 and 12. So there's always fun, full events always here on Bucs Report. And if you just got to my intro at the beginning, just make sure you send me proof that you donated whatever to Feeding Tampa Bay so I can get your name on that list so you can have a chance to win a Mike Evans jersey. By all means, I mean, might as well. Somebody got to do it. I can't fit it, so you guys might as well wear it. And all you got to do is donate. It's $150 retail value. And if you want to pay $25, you want to pay $10, you have a chance to win it. And it all goes to a good cause for those guys. I'm not paid by them or anything. Just, you guys know me, I always do some type of charity donation every single year. And I'll probably do another one again, probably raffle. We'll do a charity of a Tom Brady jersey. So let me see. So we got into that. So let's get into what are we going to talk about today with these topics. Johnny Dean, what's going on, brother? I am speaking up, Johnny. You just got bad ears. You got bad ears, Johnny. Let me get into this. Where we at? So we're going to get into, what is it? AB retiring, NBA, MLB, NHL returning, NFL on COVID-19 testing, problems in Washington, Madden 21 ratings, and Bucs signed 2 rookies. So we'll get into that, I guess, now. So AB retiring, not really, it doesn't affect us. The only reason that we really talk about it is because I guess because Bruce Arians, his affiliation with Antonio Brown over the times in Pittsburgh and things like that. And he said he's not coming here. He doesn't want to deal with that cancer here. He doesn't want to deal with the drama here in Tampa Bay. And as I said before on one of my shows and Peter's show, Damar Dotson said one thing that was really critical was there's no bad seeds at the end of this year. That's good. That means you're having a good, positive locker room, even in a losing effort in the season. When times got rough, the team still stuck together. They didn't, talk bad about each other and try to put down each other or have self-interest and things like that. So I think that's pretty good. And you don't want to add that to this team with anybody. And with all that even said, what are you going to use Antonio Brown for? There's not enough balls in the game to go around. And a guy like that's going to demand the football. And Tom Brady's not going to go for it if Antonio Brown starts that. Bruce Arians is not going to go for it. This team's not going to go for that type of effort. So I think they made the right decision in telling people they had showed no interest. If you're just tuning in, I'm Blake Anthony. This is Sports Talk49 live on Bucs Report. Tuesdays at 3:30. I showed you earlier. You got the other shows coming up. Al Keck. I always forget. And that's why I have the list. I always forget. And you got other shows coming up today, at least 2-3 more shows coming up. So, and I think one YouTube exclusive. So that's enough with AB. We'll move on from AB. This is really nothing to talk about. He's retiring again, talking about it's not worth the risk, et cetera, et cetera. Whatever. He could change his mind when money gets tight, when child support kicks up. Seattle just finished up deep dive into Antonio Brown. They made a hard pass on him. So I guess retirement's kind of all that's left to him. It's possible. Somebody might sign him, Johnny, in the wake of somebody getting injured. I've seen stranger things. NFL, MLB, and NHL returning. What about them? Well, let me read some notes to you. Let me take a look at my notes here. MLB returns, and that's part of their website, 7/23/20, with the Yankees at Nationals. Of course, Nationals won the World Series just recently. NBA 7 was returning 7/30/2020 with Jazz at Pelicans. NBA just recently had 0 positive tests for COVID-19. 0. Cero. Un cero. Positive test for COVID-19. That's a good sign. It means the NBA is doing the right things. NFL should follow suit. Or should they? Should they follow suit? And that is Wednesday, July 22nd, with Orlando Magic versus LA Clippers at 3 p.m. Washington Wizards versus Denver Nuggets at 3:30. New Orleans Pelicans versus Brooklyn Nets at 7 p.m. and the Sacramento Kings versus the Miami Heat at 8 p.m. So you get some pretty premier playoff games there to check them out. And last but not least, I can't leave out NHL. From what I found on the NHL website so far, they're in phase 3 currently. Possible return was 7/27 to 7/31 to play their 24 team, I believe, playoff carousel. NFL is also talking about COVID-19, possible testing daily, but that's per NFL.com. Vikings has already got their facility in preparation for safety, like hand sanitizer, cleaning stations, and things like that. Trying to get their team, like get people prepared to be in and out that building, coming in and out their lockers and things like that. They're trying to get the facility prepared for that stuff. So that's good that they're just getting themselves prepared for all that before it's too late. And then the NFL Players Association, NFL also, what was it? I guess it's pretty much going to come down to they're not going to have any preseason games. I mean, that's pretty much what's going to happen with that. I mean, sucks for undrafted players. There's been so many undrafted stories throughout, this I guess NFL's existence. So many through these times. So, I mean, these guys just got to get through it. It's going to be important for these guys to take as many mental and physical reps as they can and try to mentally prepare themselves in case when their number is called. And if you're just tuning in, I'm Blake Anthony. This is Sports Talk49 live on Bucs Report every Tuesday at 3:30. Deshaun, go Bucs. We're not getting him. NHL has handled the best out of him. Yes, yeah, it's possible, Johnny, and it's the least amount of notes I could find on them too, Johnny. I agree with you wholeheartedly. The only thing you heard from them is just a couple injuries, but as far as COVID's concerned, it's been pretty covert operative. It's been nothing going on. Try to be clever. COVID operative. It didn't work out, did it? I don't think so. Trying to get all my notes together here. So when they come into the agreement with the safety and things like that, I saw this tweet. I was going to put the tweet up, but I'd just rather read it. His name is George Atla, Attallah. He is Assistant Executive Director of External Affairs at the Precise Point discussions, between the NFL and the NFL Players Association. I just wanted to read off some things that he said on his tweet. Johnny, what's that? You ain't said nothing. So he said, number one, this is a direct quote from his tweet. Number one, NFL didn't offer. What's going on, Kevin? NFL didn't offer or give up preseason games for us. They had the right to set those or not, in parentheses, under the collective bargaining agreement already, which was previously that they agreed to. NFL didn't concede, quote, on health and safety issues. We implemented the best protocols together. That was the first tweet. Next tweet. Of course, our union had to advocate hard for all of these protections because everyone wants to start and, most importantly, finish a full season. That's the key word, full season. But the fact is we all conceded to a virus that is still rampant in our country. Crassus put no protections, no games, no money. Bargaining is often like that. It's the next tweet. Bargaining is often like that. It is not linear. Players still have to fight hard for seemingly obvious things, and even when they win, them people will quip that was easy. Fact checked, it was not easy. P.S. Wear a mask. Thank you. Something Peter Blake's been harping on, something everybody's been harping on. I said this before, every morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to run. You know what I watch on TV? I'm watching baseball being played over there. Another country, Europe. I'm watching rugby. I'm watching soccer being played over there. Why is that? Are you just lucky? No, because I believe they got the problems too before we did, because it went from China to Europe, then it went from Europe to here over the United States. And they're over there playing soccer and playing sports right now, professional sports. But we're still dealing with this issue right now. And the NFL, of all people, I've said this and I've advocated this so much over and over and over, that the NFL had time, and time is running out, as Peter Blake said last night. Well, Al Keck said it, I think. Time is running out. They've had all this time to prepare, get ready, have these things in place, talk to the NFL Players Association, talk to NFL, talk to Roger Goodell, get all these things right. And it seems that they're coming up at the very tail end and looking like they might be the ones, as Al says, somebody's going to screw it up with the COVID-19. Just who is it going to be? Who's going to be that guy? Who's going to be that guy? Johnny Dean says they took it seriously without all conspiracies. Yeah, they took it seriously. I believe you talking about NHL. NBA did too. Showed on here the last time we saw each other. Jason Williams talking about players complaining about a $1 billion bubble, that they're willing to keep you safe and continue to pay you. There's been a lot of guys voicing their opinions. NFL players been coming out all over talking about their concerns about the NFL not taking recommendations from the doctors that they hired, not somebody else, the doctors that they hired, not taking their advice. They're left in the whim. I know, and I talked to Ben Jarvis pretty daily. He's pretty advocate about they took it serious. You're right, Johnny. They wore masks, they stayed at home, and they practiced social distancing. That's why they're reaping the benefits of it. They didn't complain about civil liberties being taken away. They didn't complain that they couldn't go out to the club. They didn't complain about not being able to go out to the bar, and yet they're getting things rolling. And we here in the United States, we're not even sure if we want to open up schools, but they're already playing professional sports. What was I saying for Johnny got that? Deshaun Tisdale. I said, Blake, I'm not just asking, are you surprised at the Madden ratings for the Buccaneers? No, they tend to do the Buccaneers like that. And even with the addition of the players, they're going to try to find the way that they can give them as lowest rating as possible as they can for the players, the acquisitions that just came here. So they try their hardest, like you giving this NFL sack leader 85 overall, a couple clicks higher than some of the rookies that came, or 1-year players that's returning and things like that. So it doesn't surprise me with the Madden 20 run ratings. The real shocker to me is that you give Mike Thomas a 99, but you don't want to give Julio Jones a 99, which I think even in his elder age now, Julio Jones is a better receiver than Michael Thomas. Don't matter who's throwing to him. I know Michael Thomas's catches and things will go down once Drew Brees goes out to the pasture and rides out into the sunset. So he's reaped a lot of benefits of having Drew Brees in his earlier career and them completing very simple slant passes majority. But that's could be said and done for, I've said several times about Larry Fitzgerald not having a quarterback for so many years. It's just so many yards that were missed by not having an adequate quarterback at the helm for many years until Kurt Warner got there with Bruce Arians and the gang and were able to get to a Super Bowl. So it's crazy in sports. It's literally opportunity, man, where you get drafted somewhere and you have the proper head coach and you at least have the adequate team to get things done. for you to have a productive career and show your skills and things like that. It's really opportunity because a lot of good players go to bad situations, and unfortunately, not one guy can change it all by himself. It takes a cumulative things. It's not transparent from team to team. Takes the proper game plan, proper placement of players. As I talked about in the article I got coming out, what is the 12 personnel? I try to give a great explanation of things like that. But in conclusion to all of that, I just want to present to you with as much information that I can give you as I can, that none of that's accumulative. I mean, none of that is doesn't matter unless you have, proper coaching, proper players that's going to play in that system, and proper planning and execution. And that's what's important in that 12 personnel offense. The late Aaron Hernandez played really great in that Y spot in that offense. And OJ Howard and Cam Brate are going to have to try their best to replicate that. But Aaron Hernandez, watching those tapes back in 2011, 2012, he was really great at running routes. He was really great at creating separation. He was really fast and was underestimated by a lot of defenders when he went out to catch passes and got out in the open field and could beat you deep and things like that. And those are things OJ Howard is going to try to emulate when he watches. If I'm him, I'm watching those tapes with Aaron Hernandez and trying to simulate the same things he was running with Tom Brady and try to see how he sat in certain coverage and things like that. But that's on OJ. I know he was on Good Morning Football this morning and talk about Tom Brady and adding Gronkowski and things like that. But the things that I mentioned are the reasons why people are better. And I'm speaking as a player. Why you separate average players from good and good players from great, because I know myself personally, that's something I would be looking at. If I'm OJ Howard, I'm not sure what he's doing right now, but that's something I would look at, is looking at that offense when it was successful and they went to the Super Bowl and played the Giants and lost, but they made it to the Super Bowl with that 12 personnel offense. And I would look at things that Aaron Hernandez was doing and stuff like that. And those are things that OJ Howard was probably going to be asked to do by Byron Leftwich and Tom Brady. And if you're just tuning in, I'm Blake Anthony, Sports Talk49, live on BucsReport.com. So look out for that article, What is the 12 Personnel? And I try to get the best breakdown as I could. I gave you variations of the offense versus formation, lineups, motions, and things like that. I didn't even step into the realm of play calling because there's so many variations. It's just you can get leverage in covering the all the run gaps, and then you have any opportunity to go vertical at any given play in that offense, because you do have 4 passing options and you do have 4 pass catchers in that offense that could get vertical on you real quick while still offering adequate run support. And you can get leverage in that offense by motioning the tight ends, wide receivers, or whatever it is. But again, check that out when it comes out. I spent a lot of time trying to be detailed as much as I could on the information on there. Johnny, in my opinion, Fitz should be a first ballot Hall of Fame guy. You think he will get screwed and have to wait? No, I don't think Fitzgerald. I don't even think that'll be an issue with Larry Fitzgerald. I think everybody knows what Larry Fitzgerald brought to the table. I just bring that up because had he had a Drew Brees, had he had Kurt Warner for longer than he had, my goodness, all the yardage that was just left without him. Oh, it was just sad with the quarterback carousel in Arizona so many years. Prior to that, it's just really upsetting that a man with that talent just has to wait that long to get a quarterback. And then when you do, you go to the damn Super Bowl and we're just plays away from winning. Really sad. But that's the way it is in the league. Like I said, it's really opportunity, man. It's really opportunity where you get drafted, what kind of head coach you get in there and things like that. Like Jared Goff was seen to be a bust. And Sean McVay came out of Tampa Bay camp, goes there, take them to the Super Bowl, and then the next season they kind of flop. Like it's really opportunity and what you can take advantage of when you got the time to do it. And Rams may never do that again. And they're in a very tough division, so they have to fight, scratch, and claw every game in the NFC West. So I'll make sure I didn't miss anything else. Problems in Washington. I got a good connect out there. He's worked with Washington Redskins for many years. Of course, I'm not going to give any names, but Dan Snyder, and I'll speak for the Reigns that they're talking about. Dan Snyder and Jay Gruden were very disconnected with the organization and things like that. Dan Snyder wasn't really there in the office and wasn't really available for people like that. He kind of ruled behind closed doors, or he had somebody else doing pretty much the puppet work while he wasn't there. I can't really get into all that sexual allegation stuff right now with that ongoing. It's probably just not a good idea to do that right now until all that comes out, and then we could speak more about it on it later. But I can tell you right now, it's not good. It's not good what's going on there in Washington on top of the name change. And it's not, and this isn't the first time that people have talked about changing that name with Dan Snyder, of those who are just, catching wind of all of that. It's been an issue before that they've came forward to Dan Snyder about, and it's just never been changed till now. But it's just like everything else in this world. People tend to change their objective when the money starts getting played with, and they pulled the sponsors for their new stadium. And then now you're in consideration for changing a name. It's possible that they might make him sell the team. Roger Goodell has that. But the whole commissioner, I don't know if you guys know the whole thing about the NFL commissioner. He has the ability to do that. And Roger Goodell is pretty much, he's paid by the owners. They pay him to facilitate the league, hand out punishments between ownership to players, and make decisions. If the team, somebody's got to sell, just like you saw the NBA commissioner have to make the Clippers, old Clippers owner sell his team. Not sure. If you ask me personally, I don't think they're going to make Dan Snyder sell this team unless something else really comes out. Again, like I said, I'm not going to talk about that stuff until that later happens, until more comes out. And then we'll talk about it at that time. But as far as from what has been told to me, it's a lot of issues going on up there in Washington. And it's not good. And I'm not even referring to the local helmet decal, the emblem, the old Native American that they had on their helmet. So they have a lot of ideas that they can change their names. They've had so many nicknames over time. It just depends on what they want to pick. So moving on from Washington and those issues there. You said Madden 21 ratings. We talked about that. Knew Deshaun couldn't wait. You give Makai Becton a 72. You give Andrew Thomas a 71. Don't know how many Cowboy fans or Eagle fans are there that you give Andrew Thomas a 71. And Makai Becton, I don't know if it's AFC teams, opposing teams of the Jets, that you give 72. Interesting how they came up with that. And interesting how some players have 99 overalls. I'll let you guys do that, but for people who play that game, I'm myself one of them. That's why you see the Madden simulations on Bucs Report, to try to keep you guys entertained, to see what they do on Madden. It's just a video game, but it's just something to watch and get upset and be entertained by for the time being while COVID's going on. And some of you guys are out of work. That's why I wanted to do that charity and things like that to help feed people. They've had 64% raise and people needing meal assistance in the Tampa Bay area with affording certain things with the whole COVID and jobs going out, and people in the service industry not being able to make the same amount of money they had when this all came into place and things like that. It's just looking out for a fellow man and things like that. So it's important. But as I said, what was I saying? I was saying Madden 21 ratings. So it's not much else. It's just they do what they do there. And they're handing out 99 overalls to people and giving people high ratings that didn't play the entire season over others that did. It's just interesting. Bucs ink 2 rookies. They ink Tyler Johnson, 5th round pick Tyler Johnson, and 6th round pick Khalil Davis. the guy that's going to replace Will Golston, as Citro said earlier. Average run. I mean, he's pretty decent in the run stopping, but pass rushing, he's non-existent. I believe Khalil Davis offers both. If you want to watch a good tape, you watch Nebraska versus Minnesota, which you see a couple of our draft picks there in that one game. Tampa Bay Buccaneers draft picks. Khalil Davis, of course, with Tyler Johnson and Anton Winfield. Minnesota played to go away from Khalil Davis that game. He proved to play very well on a team that wasn't very good on defense, solely as wholeheartedly, and he still managed to make plays. Wasn't injured a whole lot. He has a lot of tread on the tire, and he's got a little bit get up to him. And he can play multiple spots on the defensive line because his athletic ability at his size. So that's great in a Ty Bowles defense where you have a defensive line that's versatile. I know on Buccaneers.com, last time I checked, and it was a while ago, but it might still be the same. So nothing else has really changed to change it. They had him as backing up Vita Vea, and I just don't see him as a 0 or the 1 playing over the nose. I see him playing a 5, 7, 9 or the 3 or the 5. That type of player where he can get in space and get on one-on-ones. I just don't see him as an anchor. I don't see him as an anchor in that nose tackle position. That's just not where I see him at. Will he probably be asked to play it in situations? Yeah, just like Vea's been asked to play the 5 and the 3, but I don't really expect him to come in and be a sole proprietor at that nose tackle position or that one technique, or even a 2. Well, he could play the 2-eye. But I see him on the edge, getting in space and getting an upfield and getting a pass rush presence while Vita Vea holds up the middle and causes hell like he does. If you're just tuning in, of course, it's Sports Talk 49 live on BucsReport.com. Make sure to follow Bucs Report on Facebook with the 65,000 following, along with YouTube and Twitter and all those things. And you can find me. Oh, shame of me. I did not put that up. I got so in-depth with talking to you guys. Find me on my social media at BlakeAnthony49 on IG. And you can find me at BlakeAnthony49 on Twitter, where I'm very active. Like I said, I have the charity going on. Reach out to me. Any donation automatically enters you into a chance to win a Pewter XL or XL Pewter Mike Evans jersey. How about that? Vea is all over the place with stunts and a lot. Yep. And as long as he keeps doing that, Canada's in the building. Yeah. And he's versatile too and has a lot of speed to him. He's very quick for his size and has very active hands. And that's why he had much success last season and in his first year in Ty Bowles' defense. Very, very important for that. Let me get back to my list here. Let me get back to it, guys. I'm sorry. All right. So they inked those 2 rookies. Looking forward for Tampa Bay to re-sign the rest of the guys and get these guys signed and get these guys in camp. With camp supposedly open on the 28th, right around the corner. Hopefully these guys will be quarantining and practicing social distance. I know Devin White has been the subject of verbal punishment, probably a lot on social media with his get-together, his charity he does, and look like a block party out there with nobody practicing social distancing and things like that. And the same thing with Tom Brady at Berkeley prep practicing out there. I don't know if especially with Tom Brady, I don't think he has 20 people out there, and they're talking about bringing in groups of 20 for the camp. And if that's an issue, I mean, I don't know how you're going to do camp. These guys have to do something. They have to throw the ball. They have to do some type of activity to get themselves going and get themselves thinking about football instead of sitting at home being quarantined. There's only so much you can do mentally, but there's some stuff you have to do physically and actually get out there and run around and do things like that. And that's the only way you get that done. NFL also, what was put out, well, when I found it was about 37 minutes ago on NFL.com, NFL to allow social justice decals on their helmet. I kind of see that going. Kind of saw that coming. I don't know if hockey's going to do that. I don't know if baseball is going to do that. But I know the NBA was keen on it. So I'm sure the NFL was going to follow suit as well, letting decals, letting players show their support for social injustice and people that were victimized in police brutality and things like that. Because I know the NFL's, you might call my cleats and things like that. So it doesn't surprise me that they would let them do NFL decals. Nor should it be an issue. Shouldn't take away from anything in the game if that's what they want to do. Most of the times you won't even see the decals unless they do a close-up on the person. But normal camera view, you won't even notice what decals are on the helmet and things like that. Same thing with the cleats. You wouldn't know unless somebody zoomed in on them and you would see them. Or they raffle them off for charity, which is cool, which I like about breast cancer awareness month, with all the players wearing pink stuff, and then they raffle it off and give the proceeds to fighting breast cancer awareness and things like that. It's cool when they do things like that. And the main reason why I do charities and donations and things like that is to show people that you don't have to be a big name actor, player, or things like that to make a difference in your community. It's just showing you care, and that's really the difference. And sometimes you might fall flat on your face with things like that, but you have to do something. Everybody just can't. It's getting to the time now where you just can't stand on the sidelines and just not do anything. That's old. I said people have to do stuff. You have to do things now. Deshaun comments, "Hey, Blake and Johnny, aren't you all happy to see them bringing players that fit the system in place for more than one season?" Absolutely. That's most important. You got a quarterback and you're trying to fit players and implement systems that work to his strength. I mean, that's what most successful teams do, from what I've heard and saw. But yeah, Deshaun's right. Absolutely. It's good. Oh, pardon me. It's good to see that they're trying to get that and implement things like that and work on a future for stuff like that. Like Tyler Johnson is probably not going to play much this season. I'm not sure how much Scotty Miller is going to see the field with the 12 personnel with O.J. Howard, Rob Gronkowski. Rob's going to be at the H, O.J. at the Y, O.J. or Brady at the Y. And then there's no slot in that really. Well, the Y is the other tight end, and then the X and the Z are on the outside, which would be Mike Evans and Godwin. I mean, I'm sure you could fit them in packages like that, but it's just a lot of mouths to feed in an offense that doesn't really run a whole spread wide with 4 wide receivers. But yeah, 4 pass catchers, but they're not wide receivers. So it's going to be interesting to see how the offense, I think it's going to go by the defense's, what's the defense's weakness. I mean, that's what the smart thing to do is formulate your game plan to that opposing team's defense and find their weaknesses and then run that. Johnny Dean, Brady is one thing, but Devin with 2,000 people and not a mask in sight is just a bad look, period. You know how bad a group of people drinking and partying are. I'd like to know the numbers on how many of those testing positive now. You will never know. But yes, I get your point, Johnny. You'll never know the answer to that question. And that's interesting. I don't know if he was trying to get it out the way before he went back to camp. If he did, I guess that was a good idea. Around 14 plus days out before you report back to camp. So if you did catch COVID, you were able to quarantine and be by yourself and get over it before you came back. Because it would be pretty pitiful and sad for him to have COVID, show up to camp, and then give it to somebody else. Hence why Donovan Smith was upset. And they came out the same day, hours apart. Ryan Jensen's at a wing eating contest. Deshaun, I think Scotty is in danger with the rookie looking like a beast. He's got to step up. He definitely can't catch passes and hurt his hamstring. He's got to step up if he wants to get on the field. Like I said before, it's a lot of passes, man. And I think myself and a lot of other people want to see Scotty, come out, young kid coming out of Bowling Green and getting a chance to shine, which I think he will. Seems like him and Brady have been working together a lot, and Scotty fits the kind of receiver Tom Brady likes. Deshaun, not good. Johnny with Brady, that slot is going to get a lot of work. That's if they use a slot, because if you just go on base 12 personnel, there's no slot receiver. The slot is the Y, and that's OJ, unless they swap that out and they run the H and then run Scotty in the Y, or you run Godwin in the Y and then put Scotty on the X or the Z. Of course, Mike's going to be on the X or the Z, and then who's going to be the other one on the outside? I'm thinking the rookies has the best slot at a slot spot. I think the rookie has the best slot. Who? Tyler Johnson. With the way that offense is looking, if the base offense is going to be 12 personnel, there's not going to be a whole lot of third wide receivers unless they get in third and longs and things like that. There's not going to be a whole lot of that. So I'm interested to see how many, passes are going to get in there and things like that, because we don't exactly have Tampa Bay doesn't exactly have Julian Edelman and Wes Walker. So we're interested to see how these guys work on the route running and things like that, because that's going to be important. You got to be where Brady expects you to be. I expect the backs to catch a whole lot of passes out in the flats, getting one-on-one on defenders and things like that. Hence why you see Ronald Jones working so hard on his pass catching ability and things like that, which is really, really good. Agreed. You agreeing with me, Johnny? What's the over-under on both running backs, both RBs this season for yards? And I've said this before. I mean, for over, I don't think you're going to have 1,000-yard rusher. You have multiple guys catch a lot of passes. You have a lot of guys get a lot of first downs and things like that. The big thing I was thinking about earlier before the show was I wouldn't think of like the slot. Like if it's Scott, let's just play if it's Scotty or Tyler Johnson or whoever is in there. The key stat for this 2020 season would be third down conversions. I wouldn't look at a whole lot of touchdowns. The stat for that spot would be who converted a lot of third downs. With Rob Gronkowski and OJ Howard, with the ability to get vertical and offer pass and run protection while being in that 12 personnel offense. Like I said, I'm really looking forward for you guys to check out the 12 personnel article I put out. You can see how the offense is run. I try to explain the best way I can. But, you said yes, Johnson. Yeah, Johnson's a good route runner. And it's funny, I said that in the draft. I said you need a route runner. You already have big physical receivers. And the first thing when you look at Tyler Johnson's profile is route runner. And I'm like, that's what's important. And this offense to be where you're supposed to be and make the catches. Johnny D, I guarantee they used the slot. They wouldn't have brought in Johnson or held on to Miller if not. Well, Johnny, you know as well as I do, I don't think they're getting rid of Miller after one season because he's still on a rookie contract, and why not? Brady's not here to be guaranteed. You could go back to a spread offense as soon as Brady's gone, and you could have 4 wide receivers out there in the third year. Johnson, I didn't agree with drafting a wide receiver, but I get why you do it. Why they did it is because you don't know what's going to happen with Godwin. He could decide to leave and take more money. It's possible. It's been done before. Then you don't have to worry about drafting a receiver if Godwin leaves, because it's a possibility. It is a real possibility, especially with all these contract situations coming up and having to sign Levante David. So it's a real chance. But I don't really expect Tyler Johnson to catch a whole lot of passes, man. Like, I really don't. Especially with Scotty Miller being drafted before him. And then we're not even mentioning Justin Watson. What's he going to bring to the table? Because to me, he reminds me a lot of Hogan. Chris Hogan, I believe that was his name in the Patriots. They remind me a lot of each other. And I think he can play like, as well as Chris Hogan did in a Brady offense. We need a 1,500 yards running back position to be run or catch. Agree. Oh yeah, if multiple yards, yeah. A lot of people are just thinking about solely on the ground. Like it doesn't matter if it's on the ground, if he catches passes. You need production out of the running back position. If you can run the ball, that'd be great. But if you can get production out of passing to him, that would be awesome as well, and that would be great. It'll be really using all 5 assets on your offense because each player is responsible. Well, each player is responsible for 20% of the play. hence 20 times 5. So you're running at 100% of your offense. I'm just getting to these. You think Dare makes the team? It's possible. He's trying really, really hard to, and he's making an impact, especially out there catching passes, which he can do. That's something he can do. He's got a lot of redemption to make up for last season, but new quarterback at the helm, new mentality. Is there a link for the link to the Twitter in the article at the beach looking for a read? I don't think it's up yet, Deshaun, but I'll make sure you're the first to get it. I do have you on Facebook, so I'll make sure to get that to you so you can check it out. It's on the BR website. Okay, I didn't know if it was up or not, Johnny. Thank you. I know I'm a fan, but I think we arguably one of the best wide receiver rooms in the league. I don't think anybody's going to argue against that. I think the argument was who was the best, but I don't think anybody's going to argue against that. Deshaun, you definitely have the talent there, and you definitely have the talent to have different looks on offense. Hence, with the 12 personnel, you have a whole bunch of different looks. Like I said, I barely scraped the surface in the variations that I posted on the article and things like that. And I even chopped up a few videos from New England in the past in the 2011-2012 season with Ben Jarvis and young Rob Gronkowski, young Aaron Hernandez and those guys. And even Julian Edelman and Wes Walker were on that. Not Wes Walker. Wes Walker were on that team. So I try to give the best simulation of what it looks like and the variations and stuff like that. But it's going to come a lot, running the ball, because you have to protect against all the gaps with tight end to tight end. You can run anywhere. You can motion at any time, any person out of that, and create mismatches anywhere on that offense. So Tampa Bay's in a good place to have a good running identity in 2020 while still offering vertical passing. And that was the key part, what people were trying to formulate, how Leftwich and Brady would work together. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of the right words. How they will work together in their offense. And that's why Brady's going to take those check downs, and he's going to take those vertical passes when given opportunities in one-on-ones and things like that. And in this offense, you have that ability to be able to run to any gap, tight end to tight end, while still offering 4 verticals at any given time on a play, which leads to most teams playing, 4-4-8 in the box. That's what most defensive coordinators are going to have to do against that 12 personnel, because it demands you to bring more to the line of scrimmage, because you have more abilities for big runs, and you have more ability. You have to have more gap control in that setup if you don't have 8 men in the box protecting against that, while still offering that these defenders have to cover these tight ends and receivers that could get vertical at any given second. So Tampa's in a good place to be very successful on offense. Deshaun, can we win with Donovan Smith not playing? This feels so crazy because I was wondering, could we win with him before? Yeah. Brady's ability to get rid of the ball quick will make any offensive lineman look good. Look at Nate Soldier exiting New England, going to the New York Giants. Not very good. Not very good. Giants loading up on offensive line. Just picked up Andrew Thomas, as I said prior. You could put Haig out there. You can put anybody out there. I know Johnny doesn't like Joe Haig, but they picked him up obviously for a reason. You can probably pick up an undrafted free agent if you want. Jason Peters still available. You have options there, but I think Brady, his ability to be able to get rid of the ball in their 12 personnel, being an ability to have chip on the edges and slow down the speedy rushers on the edge, will help out. It'll help out any offensive lineman when they're weak against a premier pass rusher. So, yes, to answer your question, I think they can win without him. I think they'll be able to move the ball just fine. I think Byron Leftwich and Bruce Arians and Tom Brady will figure out ways to supplement the lack of strength at left tackle, if that comes to light. Then Donovan could possibly be the Bucs breakout of the season. It's possible. It's possible, Johnny. It's very possible that he could come have a breakout season. But I wouldn't even really call it you're getting paid $14 million. You're getting paid premier for that position. So I wouldn't really call it a breakout. I mean, I would call it playing as you're getting paid. I would call that. So it's not like he was a 5th-round draft pick and just got a decent contract. He's getting paid premier left tackle money. He's been available in all his games. Like, I have to give him where his props to do. He's available, but there's been time on known passing downs. He's been just getting embarrassed. And it happens to all offensive linemen, but it's just a lot of bonehead plays that happen from him in run and pass protection. Deshaun Tisdale, man, I really would not want to play against a team like us. MLB will have to have a ton of depth with these tight ends because they will have to help the safeties. Yes, that's what I mean. In that offense, you have the ability to find a lot of mismatches. You have the ability to get vertical ASAP. You have the ability to come underneath with motions, creating mismatches on the defense, which Tom Brady's going to do. He's going to send guys in motion back and forth to find out what kind of coverage they're in, run counters back the other way, run screens. You have a lot of opportunities at variations to keep defenses guessing, keep defensive coordinators scratching their heads. And as I said before, I talked to Ben Jarvis and Coach Tom Shaw from their time in New England winning Super Bowls. Tom Brady's going to demand guys to learn how to do things on the fly and not wait till halftime. They don't have time, as Ben Jarvis said several times. You don't have time to tell guys 500 things, one thing 500 times. You got to go with the flow in the game and make those adjustments as they go to move the ball and keep scoring on offense. I was reading Deshaun's message. I want to make sure I didn't skip it. And that's what they're going to demand in that offense. That's what they're going to demand for those guys to do, being able to pay attention, know what's going on in the offense week to week. So guys like Austin Seferian-Jenkins wouldn't survive in this offense with Tom Brady and things like that because of the lack of focus he has, or had, I should say. Donovan has been getting spanked. Call it out. Called it out. I hope he is much better, and Brady effect should help. Brady's going to do his job, and Donovan has to do his, is what's going to happen, and Brady's going to demand that happens. Leftwich is going to have to help out Donovan if he's getting beat. And if they can't do it, Arians has to find a way because he's the head coach. He's going to let Byron and Todd Bowles be them. He's going to stand to the sideline and step in when needed be, as a head coach should. You let your guys, you let your assistants coach, and you step in when those situations arrive for you to do that. So no power back this year. Who was our short yardage back? Probably Ronald Jones, the biggest back. He put on weight and was able to still keep his speed. That was amazing. Keyshawn Vaughn is a home run hitter, as Alex Fleming has said 1,001 times. If you can run against that LSU defense, you can run against anybody. With that poor offensive line he had, one of the weakest in whole NCAA football. And then you got Red McCalley coming out the back, offering speed and pass catching ability. But I know, Deshaun, you and I both were big on power backs and things like that. I don't think you have that this year, but I think Ronald Jones has proved he's not afraid to stick his head down and get those yards and goal line, a short yardage situation, while still offering breakaway speed ability with agility, which amazingly he has. He has really good footwork that didn't go anywhere. And that's usually the part that you're scared of when you're putting on pounds. Are you going to lose your footwork? Are you going to lose your speed? And he didn't lose either. So they both can offer. If you're asking the question, I think both Keyshawn Vaughn and Ronald Jones can offer that, Deshaun. I would have liked to seen a big back like A.J. Dillon. He went higher than I thought he was going to, but he's a good running back. and went to Green Bay. So, and Green Bay is going to be a power running offense with their new head coach out there. So we'll see how that goes. It's crazy. Wouldn't it be crazy if Tom Brady retires after 2 seasons, Aaron Rodgers contracts up after 2 years, Tom Brady walks off into the sunrise or the sunset, and then they pick up Aaron Rodgers to come over here? What about Deshaun Watson? It's Bucs going to have some options in a couple of seasons, especially at the quarterback position if they want to go rookie or a younger player or rent a veteran, especially with the big Mahomes, $500 million contract. Sometimes it'd be cheaper to just rent a QB for a few years if your offense is ready to rock and roll, and you just plug and play on the quarterback position. It's going to be interesting to see. Okay, I made sure. Yeah, I got the Deshaun's message. Yep. Got to that. Let me make sure I got through all of my notes here. Yep, we talked about all that. Yep. So make sure you guys donate out here to the Feeding Tampa Bay. Why not? You got a chance to get in a random drawing to win a Mike Evans jersey, brand new pewter jersey. The new jersey just came out, XL. Why helping out your fellow man in the community? Why not? I say some people spend more money on beers and other things like that. Just go out and donate and give back to the community while being incentivized for it, possibly in winning a jersey. That'd be great. Help me out with that, guys. I'll be going till August 1st. I'll do the drawing then. Well, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Are we doing the drawing then? Make sure when you do donate, reach out to me to any one of those social media sites that you see there. And so I know to put your name in the drawing. And then if you win, when I go on the show and read it off, I will reach out to you, or you reach out to me, and I'll make sure to get your address so I can send you the jersey in the mail and things like that, and get that going. Hey, what's going on, Rasul? What days are you on now? Tuesdays at 3:30. Rasul, Tuesdays at 3:30 till the season comes around. Then it'll be the usual Mondays and Fridays. Monday pregame or postgame to Sunday's game, and then Friday pregame to the Sunday's game. Breaking down tape, what to expect, how to beat them. The usual. You've been there. You've came to a game and met me. You've been there, which was pretty cool. You and your lovely lady guys come out and hang out with old Blake Anthony at the game. I posted that photo there, and Felipe sending me photos and things like that. These guys out there in these games. What do you guys think about New York? New York saying they're not going to have fans. I don't think Tampa Bay is going to go for it. I don't think Tampa Bay is not going to have fans. You got all this opportunity to have all this investment in fans and merchandising and things like that just to not have fans in the game. I'm not sure if it's the right decision or not. I don't know. But I don't think that they're going to miss out on that. I don't think that they're going to miss out on that at all. We'll see how many other teams follow suit. I know Mark Davis is pushing for no fans. So that means no Vegas for me, which is fine with me anyway. I don't want to go there under these circumstances. But he's pushing for that as well. It might be the safest situation. That's what they're doing over in Europe while they're playing sports. I'm not seeing any fans in the stand. If there is fans, there's barely any. But yeah, Deshaun, it's Tuesdays at 3:30 right now until the season rolls. Hopefully we get media credential to go to these training camps and get possible interviews with people. I'm going to get some more interviews for you guys too. It's just meeting up with them and then me meet, our schedules getting intertwined because I wanted to have Ben Jarvis break down 12 personnel offense. Yep. Philadelphia follow suit. The city shut down. Shut it down. Yep. Oh, Philly shut down too. Okay. Makes sense because I've lived in Philly. The subway system is important there. It's a lot of human contact and non-social distancing when you're sitting in the L going down there or the bus or whatever it means of transportation down there. It's really crowded there. So I think that's the right option there because public trans let you off right there in the complex of the sports complex down there. So I think that's the right decision being that close together. I think New York did the right thing as well. That's the one thing is about Tampa coming down here from up north. Public transit isn't as reliable as it is there, and they'll have as many means. It's funny too, because a lot of people here are from up north, Detroit, Chicago, New York, Philly, especially New York, and they're so familiar with public trans, Pittsburgh, and stuff like that. Johnny Dean. So when I said breakout, I meant that Smith was surprised. What may surprise everyone, I won't go as far as Nick Citro and say Pro Bowl, but he looks to finally make some noise. Yep, and I know he's looking forward to it because a lot of people talk trash about him consistently. So he's been, getting on social media. I know, trying to antagonize people for getting on by the social media tweets about his family and talking about taking a pay raise instead of a pay cut. It's whatever. People are going to have their opinions. Go ahead. How you doing, Olga? Active, long-time Buccaneer fan. So we're going to wrap that up today and say this as we always do. Make sure you guys go out there and contribute to Feeding Tampa Bay donation, have a chance to win a XL Mike Evans pewter jersey. Whatever contribution automatically enters you in a chance to win it. Doesn't have to be 25. It doesn't have to be that. Good to see you, Olga. It doesn't have to be that. If you want to give more, that's fine. It's about giving back to those who are in need in the situation, that are unemployed or working for minimum wage and trying to struggle through the situation, work in the service industry, work in the nursing industry, whatever it is. Help fellow man out, even though you may not know him. And that's the thing. Even though you may not know him and it doesn't affect you, it's about helping other people, because we, the people, have the power. We forget that. And we can't always look for somebody else to do something. Sometimes you have to get off the bench and get in the game and play. You have to get in the game and play and contribute and be a part of the society and not ride the wave forever. There used to be a time where people were willing to die for what they believed in. Are you one of those people? I'm not saying this is something to die for. It's just, are you willing to, were you willing to do things to help out somebody else? That's all I'm asking. And you don't have to be an NFL player. You don't have to be somebody important to make an impact on somebody. And you don't need self-clout to do that. You do it without wanting to get a pat on the back. You do it when the camera's not on you. Those are the things that you do for people, because the people that need to see that are on social media. They aren't walking the streets. I'm not sure what your religious background are or whatever it is, and I'm not really going to get into that, but the people that need to see that are on social media. And that's why I'll leave it at that. So thank you guys, as always. I appreciate you guys coming on here and support me, as always. Anything with the charity and the donation to jerseys, just donation for the Mike Evans jersey, reach out to me. It's starting to get a stuffy nose. Reach out to me on my social media. That's right there. Reach out to me, and I'll help you out with that. Finding out whatever you need to do. Just whenever you donate, just send a message to me that you donated, so I can add you to the list. That's all I need to know. I just need proof that you did it. It doesn't matter the amount. If you don't want me to see it, that's fine too. I don't care. Neither does Feed Tampa Bay. Any contributions, anything. Talking about it is great. That's it. Talking about it is great. And if the fact that you guys can donate would be awesome. And we'll end this as we always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Thank you guys. God bless, and fire those cannons. Johnny, what are you messaging? Background looking great. Yep, it looks good. Thanks, Johnny.
Hey, how you guys doing? Mike here from Tires to Go, and today I'm going to inform you about the amazing tools that Tires to Go provide to get the customers what they need. As you know, we have the real same as cash, but we also have Snap financing. We use Snap pretty much to provide the customers the same equipment as they were buying cash on payments. Isn't that amazing? Pretty much what we do, you come indoors, we get you the application right away, we'll get you approved, and we'll get you the safe, affordable tires that you need, and pay it off in 3 months. Simple, easy, affordable. Why not come to Tires to Go, where you get the real, same as cash.
At Life's a Beach Realty, we're all about life on the beach. Stunning Panama City Beach and one of the most beautiful properties on the Gulf Coast, Shores of Panama. Radiant, elegant, and spectacular. Steps away from white sugar sand, every room overlooks the turquoise of the Gulf of Mexico. Come in for your tour today. Life's a Beach Realty is your gateway to Shores of Panama, the shores, and a whole lot more.